Mm. Yo, 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 welcome back to the motherfucking neighborhood. I'm gonna do this real quick, like, cause y'all already know I gotta get back to the monies. Back to the monies. So if it's your first time in the neighborhood, welcome to the neighborhood. Make sure you go all the way back to the beginning. Go to see a video called Welcome to the Neighborhood. If you want to know a little bit about the channel and why I'm doing what I'm doing, make sure you go see a video called The Thing About Hope. So today we are doing my second episode of Politically Incorrect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super duper excited about this. Because I love politics. I love politics. And I might sound ignorant and I might not be all correct. Fuck it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. I ain't perfect. You weren't perfect. Go get a fucking robot. So yesterday was the first presidential debate. We had it's so funny. So my president is no longer black, but it is what it is, unless he's Bill Clinton. But that's another story for another day. But so yesterday we had our very first presidential debate, Biden against Donald Trump. I believe it was in Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe that may be incorrect. And I was in and out, so some of my information may not be all there. But I just kind of want to give y'all my take on what happened. So I have been watching. I said it in my daily dose of hope for this for today that I've been watching political debates since I was about 13 years old. I went to my minor or double major or whatever. I don't know what it is. It's political science. So that's the thing. And, I also have a law degree. But on top of screw all of the fuck ass shit, I just love politics. And I also love analyzing people, places, and things. So we started this debate with the moderator. I don't know his name. I forget his name. I'll try to get more information for the next debate. But we started this debate with the moderator asking about healthcare, coronavirus, and the economy. And so I'll give you my analysis of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, to me, I feel as if, and this. So the facts being undisputed. They talked about healthcare, coronavirus, economy, and a couple of other things. That's a fact. So now I'm going into my opinion and my analysis of what happened there. So I told my mom, I texted my mom and my dad and asked them were they watching it. My dad said he wasn't going to watch it because you seen them one, you seen them all. And my mom, of course, watched it. One, I feel like history was definitely made, and I'll tell you why shortly. But this was unlike any political debate I've ever seen in my life. And I want to even liken it. So I told my mom, going back to the text message, I told my mom that, Trump did, and he was successfully doing what he did to Biden with what he did with Hillary Clinton. I'll say that again to make it a more cohesive statement. He successfully did to Biden what he did to Hillary Clinton, but I don't know if it worked to his benefit this time. So Trump's strategy is a throw you off tactic. Like, I know I'm not saying anything. I know how I'm already perceived. However, what I'm here to do is get you off of your game and fluster you and make you look just as unruly as me. But the thing is, that's Trump's brand, unruly. Unruly. It's unruly. So what he does, and he did this with Hillary so successfully, he agitated her. He agitated her. He hit all of the pressure points. And I think that he did that last night. And I applaud Biden for keeping his composure, because Trump was throwing low blows. He was throwing jabs. He was throwing blows like, I was listening to my dad preaching. It's just like, it's certain things that get you knocked off, like talking about somebody mama. You're in a playground, you and your friends joking, but you talk about somebody mama, they get mad. He went as far to like attack Biden's son. Like, y'all already know Trump is uncouth. I think that's the correct word. And so he don't ever give a fuck. You couldn't Trump pay people for a lot of things, but one thing Trump would never pay a person for is a fuck. He couldn't buy a fuck. He don't want to fuck. He couldn't look at a fuck. He can't see fuck. He is fuck resistant. He's fuck repellent by nature. So he's never gonna have a fuck to give to anybody. You know what I'm saying? He can't give a fuck because he got a fuck deficit, and he live in the fuck deficit. And it's crazy, but I love a person with a fuck deficit, because sometimes I got a fuck deficit. But you know, bad people have good attributes, but and he uses them like he uses them so willy-nilly. So because he does not give a fuck, and he's never given a fuck, he doesn't care what he says nor what he does to affect people, or like he is just here to win. It's like playing a card of spades, bitch. Like, I'm here to win. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to like, three and a possible, bitch. I'm going for the win. I got a handful of spades, and I know I can win this hand. I'm gonna play that shit. And so that's Trump. Trump is going to play to win. And he don't really give a fuck. He's like, ain't no rules in this shit. Ain't no rules in politics, motherfucker. I make the rules. And I think that was very evident last night in his tactic to throw Joe Biden off and to take him off of his, not pedestal, but to break his poise. Because I think that the perception of Joe is that he's always well put together and he can't be shaken, and he's a classic man, but he ain't no hoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gentleman, but I'm not a hoe. And yesterday, Trump was like throwing jabs at him in order to shake him off, to take him off of his pedestal, to get him off his throne. And, you know, if we really quickly go back to the campaign or the debates with Hillary Clinton, that's all he did was attack her. And she lost that election for herself because we didn't get to the facts. The issue with people is, especially I feel like with Joe, is I need more substance from you. But Trump's tactic is to not allow the substance that he has. He may have great substance, but I'm going to agitate you so much that you don't really talk about the points that you need to, that your substance does not come through clearly. And if it does, it has a little bit of Trump sprinkled on it. And even so, even with this tactic that Trump employed, like my mom was telling me, you know, he looks really, really bad. And he looked, and I was disappointed in him as just an analyst, being that, like, he was off his kilter. If you're gonna employ a tactic to knock somebody off of their game, then do that. But he looked like a child. He looked like a 3-year-old fighting with a 16-year-old maybe. Like I told my mom, I said, he reminded me of me and my niece. Me and my niece fight like kids. Like when I was at home, we just argue. We argue all the time. It's the most childish thing ever in the history of life. I'm childish sometimes. And hold on, let me see what this about. Let me see what this about. Let me see your tongue ring. Cause I know I just put in something. Boom. Okay. So he could have employed his tactic of throwing, you know, Biden off and not allowing him to get the substantive information out without being so childish and irate. Like, it almost appeared as if he was like on something. Like, I feel like he's too smart for what it is. And I'm not praising him. I'm taking all of my emotions out of it, and I'm talking to you as an analyst. Because he's still a fuckboy to me. But I'm speaking to you specifically analytically. And that was really interesting to me. Just to throw a little bit of astrology in it. Shout out to, you know, David Palmer, the Leo King. He talked about how interesting this would be with Mercury being in the shadow, and Saturn going direct, and how that would affect the signs. So I think that Trump was successful in just how, when he was debating Hillary, he kept her from getting her substantive information out. I think that he did that, and I'm so upset that Biden didn't learn from that. Like, I feel like if Biden was going to be quiet, he should have just been quiet the whole time. sometimes you gotta let an ass look like an ass and make him look like an ass. And he should have let the moderator control it. He should not have argued back. And I know that seems like I gotta say something now. Sometimes you just don't say anything. Sometimes you just let some people fuck their own life up. And I think that's what Trump did last night. Like, even if he did have a good following, I think last night kind of fucked it up for him, because to me, like, I'm never a Trump supporter just because I don't agree with him as a person, and I could never vote for him. But I kind of follow his business ways and what he does. But last night he was off his game. He was off kilter. So it's crazy. It's like a double-edged sword, because while he was off kilter, I still think he was successful in what he did. He acted like a bratty little entitled kid that was throwing a tantrum, and he did it in front of America. And I think for the first time that really hurt him more than it helped him, because he usually does that, but it was so concentrated for such an extended period of time. It's just like, train wreck. I want to look away, but I can't look away. And as for Biden, like I said, I was in and out, so I didn't get a lot of the substantive stuff, but I feel like he took the bait. I feel like he took Trump's bait, and I feel like him and his team should have gotten together, watched all of the Hillary debates, and looked at Trump's tactics. I honestly just think Joe Biden needs a different political team. He needs to throw his whole team out the fucking water, and he needs to get a new team to really, because right now, this is the point where Biden has a chance to really pull forward. But we got to see how his team, because even though I feel like Trump succeeded in what he did, I think that Biden won a debate, because even though he didn't get to say much, he didn't look as bad as Trump. You know what I'm saying? And that's saying a lot. So, they talked about, healthcare. I'm trying to remember what they talked about healthcare. They talked about Obamacare and how Biden wants to further extend Obamacare, and Trump wants to get rid of it. And if I'm being honest with you guys, me personally, and it varies for different people, I understand Obamacare. I'm not a huge fan of it because I had to pay the penalty. But the crazy thing was, I was too broke to afford the Obamacare, but I was too rich to get like a stipend for the Obamacare. So it really hurt me in that way. So I'm not a fan of Obamacare. I do believe that there should be some type of universal health care, but I just think it should be free. I understand what Obama was doing, and I appreciate him, and I'm one of those people who, I made it through regardless, and I get that, but I'm not a fan of Obamacare. But those are some of the issues they were talking about. They were talking about 401ks, and I didn't know, prior to the position I'm in now, I didn't know what a 401k was, bitch. I thought it was a fucking 14 karat gold ring, bitch. I ain't know what it was. But I found out, it was a savings plan, and they were talking about those, and that's important. Like I said, I tuned in and out, so I can't go as in depth as I would like, but I will say that 401ks, savings, healthcare, coronavirus, and it was just like, and they were arguing about shit that didn't matter, especially because Biden told Trump he didn't handle corona well, and Trump was like, bitch, if you was here, you wouldn't be handling it. More people would be dead. And I think that was just another bite of bait that Biden took. Biden needs to learn how to not take the motherfucking bait. And I know that's hard when you arguing with certain people, but you gotta study your component. Your opponent. And I don't think that, it's crazy to say that. I don't think he studied his opponent enough. And I'm not appalled at what Trump did, because Trump, him. I'm not ever mad at anybody for being them. So there's that. So overall, I think that, for me, I think that Biden may have come out of this one, but not because he was the better candidate, but because Trump just sucked worse. And he put himself, and he showed his ass too much to the people. Maybe it's some people that still rock with him. I'm pretty sure, Trump riders ride for him. So, I ain't mad at that. You in the mob, I'm a ride with my, I respect the mentality, even though, it's a fucked up mentality. I'm just here analyzing the situation. So I will say that. I will also say that this is one of the most historic debates I've ever seen in my life, because bitch, we in a reality TV show. This is really happening. It's really happening. Trump is making history, whether it's good history or bad history. Madonna said, publicity is publicity, good or bad. And that, I think Trump, like, he got that written in his mirror, bitch. That's his morning motherfucking affirmation, bitch. Like, he got that shit on a sticky note in his fucking car, bitch. He make his motherfucking Secret Service agents whisper that shit to him at least 10 times a day, bitch. And I really think he lived by that. So with that being said, I think that he's employing his tactics the way that he feels best. I think that he biting off more than he can chew, and he's going a smidgen overboard. Not even a smidgen, a lot overboard. But he's over the top already. So, what do you expect? I think Biden needs to come back stronger the next couple of rounds. I think he needs to, like, the moderator was so frustrated he couldn't even get his terms out. Next time, just stand there and just be quiet. Sometimes silence is better than saying anything. Like, they saying he's silent. Like, one of my homeboys was saying, he's silent right now because he don't want to mess anything up. Oh, this thing blinking, so I really gotta stop talking. But he said silence is is his best move right now. When he get on a debate and Trump start doing the shit he do, be silent and just make your point. No matter, I don't care if whatever Trump talking about. Biden's goal needs to be to get my message out. What do I want the people to know? I don't care what he says. He can walk over and sit his dick on top of Biden's head, and Biden needs to still be talking about the important information he wants to get out. He needs to talk about the substantive things. And once he can master that, I think he does have a chance. But if not, I don't know. And it's fucked up to say it's still anybody game because of the fuck ass shit Trump doing. But the reality is, it's still anybody game. Trump making history, Biden making history. And so may the best man win, or the lesser of the two evils win. I think this was a very interesting start. Is like shit. It's round one. They came out the fucking gate swinging, like, for real. I never expected to see anything like that. It was really like seeing some, like, like being in Baton Rouge and watch Google Baton Rouge fights, bitch. That's what that shit looked like last night. And these are people who are supposed to be our presidents. So keep those things in mind. I'm a man of the people, not above but equal. And interesting. I'm also interested to see Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. But this has been an episode of Politically Incorrect. It'll be interesting to see what the remaining of the debates look like. We got a little over a month until the election. Get out and vote. Do whatever it is you need to. Watch the debates. See how these people act. If Trump act like that with somebody that's in the United States, imagine how he do business with people. But Biden as well. Biden don't be a hoe. You got to know how to move and when to move if you're going to be a businessman. And you can't let people knock you off your motherfucking game. And I absolutely believe that Trump shook his ass last night. Regardless, I saw it with my own 2 eyes, with my own 4 eyes. I saw it with my own fucking 4 eyes. So there is that. All right, guys. I just want y'all to see my tattoo because I think it's so cute. All right, guys. I got to hop back to work, but this has been your second episode of Politically Incorrect. I was super excited to do this. I hope that I got everything that I wanted to get out. Long, short, the first round of debates was fucking crazy. It's like a fucking reality series, for real. But look at the people. Don't only look at the information they give you. Look at how does it align with what you want with your life, what you want your children's future to be. But also look at the attitude of the people and how they treat people, because how people treat people is indicative of their character. How you treat a person when they can do nothing for you is indicative of your character. And I think both of them have, I feel like they got something to prove and they're going about it the wrong way. I think they're both crummy, to be honest. But, I'm going to continue watching and I will vote accordingly. And I hope that you guys do the same. I'm going to go ahead and take us out on Jeezy. Hopefully they let their bill run because it's out for YouTube. So, and hopefully they let it run. I will see you guys on the next episode of Politically Incorrect.